around that time, Pete, your wife was struggling with health issues. Your boys called it milkshake.
Yeah.
She had milkshakes, and during that time, you're seeking God, you're praying, and your wife's not well.
Yeah.
How did you hold? We live in this world of miracle and mystery, don't we?
That's good.
How did you cope with that?
Yeah, I like that, miracle and mystery. That's good. Yeah, I mean, the boys called them milkshakes because she was having epileptic fits left, right, and centre. And that was because she had a brain tumour.
Yeah.
And in a way, we're so fortunate that they were able to get it out, and it's not grown back. And so many people have so much harder stories than ours, but it was very difficult. And I think both the trauma of thinking your wife's going to die, the trauma of watching repeated seizures. She has very, very bad ones. I mean, she has to be rushed into hospital every time. And crying out for God to make them stop and it not working, which, the Bible's more honest than the church, isn't it? Why can't I just say that? It just didn't. If I'm going to say to you, sometimes my prayers do work and I see miracles, I need to be able to say sometimes it doesn't work. And it just wasn't working. And then I was being invited, because 24/7 prayer was exploding everywhere. I was being invited to speak at all the biggest conferences. I mean, you name all of them.
Yes.
And I had to decline them all to stay home and change nappies, which I'm so grateful for, actually, now, looking back.
In hindsight.
Yeah. But you said, how did I cope? And the honest answer, John, is not very well.
Yeah.
I used to say, I prayed like a drunk man falling downstairs. Yeah. And I'd think about my bank account, or my kids, or my wife, and I would just say, oh God, and I didn't even know if it was blasphemy or prayer.
Yes.
And I was worried that if I didn't pray right, like if I didn't take her to Bethel or Lourdes or wherever.
Yeah, you're going to miss out.
I'll miss out.
I know.
And I thought, will God eliminate us on a technicality,
Yes.
And I used to say back then, putting my trousers on in the morning is a success, everything else is a bonus. So I was just getting through. But here's where I landed. I felt this enormous temptation, really, to swing one of two ways. Either to just get cynical and jaded and say, this stuff is nonsense. But I couldn't, because I'd seen too much of God's goodness. And also, what hope have we got in life? Like, if you get rid of God, you've still got the brain tumour, you've just got no hope.
Yes.
Like, that's not good news, that's bad news. No matter how hard it is to wrestle with the pain of life, I'd rather do it with belief in life after death, a God who loves you, who's promised never to leave you, than try and do it on my own. So I realised I can't really go that way. I've seen too many miracles. And we continued, through this season, we continued to see miracles. So that did my head in. And then the other temptation was actually to be superficial and pretend that everything was fine. Come on a thing like this, oh yeah, and do the thing, when actually I was hurting like hell.
Yes.
And what I realized is the way of discipleship is paradox. I have to accept, what did you say, miracle
and mystery.
I've got to live with both of those realities.
To live with both.
And I think normal people trust that. I found a lot of Christians hate me being honest about my questions and my struggles. They often don't like that. But non-Christians don't. They actually like, well, obviously. Because if you're an atheist and God doesn't answer your prayer, it doesn't cause you a crisis of faith. It just confirms your unbelief. It's Christians who wrestle with this stuff.